Welcome back to Ponke Thoughts, because that's the weird show that I'm putting out now. I am joined by the wonderful EJ Watson.
What up, what up, what up, what up? What's the deal?
Dude, check out EJ's podcast, The Ride Along, with two A's, motherfuckers, two A's.
With two A's, motherfuckers, hell yeah.
EJ, how you been doing? What did your girl just make you that you wolfed down in 6 minutes?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and they were delicious.
That's very
with
nice.
An apple. And with an apple and a Labatt Blue Light. How we've been spending our quarantine, with beer and PB&J sandwiches, bro.
Dude, that's how champions do it. That's how champions quarantine.
How your quarantine been, dog? What you been up to?
We're still working, man. I'm essential.
You're essential?
Yeah, we cut metal, and we have some customers that make ventilators. So we're still doing it, dude. It's pissing me off though. The fire marshals are getting all like aggressive about it. Like, they're just showing up and like, dude, we're essential. Like, we have all the paperwork that the government people gave us. Like, we're essential, and they'll be like, "I'll decide if you're essential." It's like, dude, someone above your pay grade already decided that.
Yeah.
Oh,
well. For real, dude.
But besides that, we got the long Easter weekend, so I'm gonna take it in, and this is my quarantine time.
Congratulations, bro. This vacation has been very interesting. They shut us down immediately because I work in a bar. So
yeah, well, you guys didn't sell enough food. That's all it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were doing carry out for a while, but I'm a bartender, so I was pretty much used to it as soon as the shit came out. So
man, that's weird times, man.
Dude, yeah, it's fucking man. But shout out to the unemployment office because they ain't giving me shit, so I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I know. I keep hearing all those stories about how backed up they are and how crazy it's been.
Oh, dude, and it's ridiculous how, like, I mean, it's like calling into a radio station, dude, like to be like 11th caller.
Yeah, grab those tickets.
Yeah, dude, it's like 'cause it's always busy, and then like you might get through, and then it cuts off. Like, dude, it's rough.
Man, yeah, as much as I've been complaining about still working, it's much better than the alternative.
Oh, yeah, you're much better. Luckily, my girl and I had some money saved up, like, not because we thought, like, we knew the apocalypse was coming, but just because we kind of were just prepared, but it ain't gonna last forever, dog, so...
Yeah, I'm finding all those friends that were so bad with money, and I used to talk shit to them. Now I'm just sitting there like, what'd you learn? I tried to tell you, man.
Right.
Like, just because you have $7 in that bank account doesn't mean you have to spend it tonight, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, it worked out, man. So we were kind of slightly prepared for the apocalypse, but it's only gonna last for so long. So I don't know now.
If you're not at each other's throats by now, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, we're not yet. I ain't punched my girl in the face yet, but it remains to be seen.
Yeah, it remains, but I feel like you got over the hump of when that would have happened.
Oh yeah, you never know. They just gave us an extension, so
that's true. Yeah,
like frustrating in this bitch.
You got that alert on your phone, and you felt your fist clench up for some reason.
Pretty much, man.
So you just did the wonderful Robert Schneider's podcast. How'd that go?
Yeah, that was sweet. We pretty much talked on Zoom. It was pretty much a long ass FaceTime with each other. We just talked about Detroit comedy and being in the quarantine and just basic quarantine shit.
Yeah.
And but it was fun. I ain't seen my mans in a while, so I miss all y'all motherfuckers now.
Yeah, I'm kind of new into it all, but EJ's gotten to see me bomb and also only a little bit bomb, so it's been good.
And vice versa, dog.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun, man. I missed that. During normal times, EJ runs a room at the Independent, and we see each other all over the place. You got that room at Town Pump in Detroit as well.
That's not me. That's Brett Mercer, but he just never be there, so it always seems like I'm running that bitch.
Oh well, sorry, Brett, but it looks like it's EJ's.
people still hit me up for that show. Like, hey, y'all, what's going on with that? I'm like, nigga, I don't know.
Yeah, plus nobody knows what Brett looks like because everyone's looking for that weird animated burger.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Brett's just a puppeteer in the background, dude. I'm just Pinocchio. You feel me? So, but yeah, I miss comedy a lot, dog. Like it's it was something to do, I guess. And,
yeah, I miss it. I miss it to a point where it hurts, but I gotta tell you, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be doing those Zoom fucking comedy open mics.
Holy shit, dude! I watched a couple of them. Like, these are so bad, bro.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's just, the desperation.
Yeah, it's desperation jokes, dude. I was like, I don't need to get these jokes off that bad, bro. Like, it's like, this is a good time, I feel like, to just kind of like fine tune a bunch of stuff, catch up on ideas and things that you might have had like within comedy or outside of comedy or whatever. That's kind of how I've been using the time. But I don't like the mics will be back, bro. Just hang on, you know.
Yeah, I know. This is like, I don't know. Every time I see one of those Zoom open mics, I feel like it's the band that just kept playing on the Titanic. Like, dude, just give up. It's fine.
It's okay for the song to be over with. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's okay.
Yeah, like we're all gonna be fine. I feel like I lost some respect for the people that do it, just a little.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I felt kind of shitty when I did they was nominating everybody. You saw that shit? I nominate this guy for the joke off or whatever the fuck.
Oh God, are you talking about the bracket?
Nah, it wasn't the bracket. It was, you ain't see that shit on Facebook where like everybody was getting nominated to do. I nominated Nick Kelly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So where it was just like, just to do the jokes, but you nominate like two more comics, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this is dumb, but whatever.
Did you do one?
Yeah, I did. I did one like a fucking idiot.
Oh, man, that's so disappointing, and I did one too. Yeah. I remember I was like, this is absolutely stupid, but I'm going to do it.
Literally those exact words. This is going to be stupid, but this is stupid, but I'm going to do it because honestly, what else? You know, like.
It felt like that Imagine song from all the celebrities. I was like, we're all going to get criticized, but I want to be a part of it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like one of them ensemble cast movies, like fucking Valentine's Day or some shit. Just like, it's too many motherfuckers in this shit.
Right, but that's the thing though, is like that's like a 30 seconds, 40 seconds video to log into Zoom and just watch the screen and see all those other faces of people so desperate they're willing to just pretend right now.
Right,
I can't do that.
Like you gotta change your whole comedy for that. Like it's like this isn't gonna be the same as like you going up to like Trixie's or like New Way or something. Like this is gonna be a totally different comedy experience.
Right.
It's like me doing my jokes like just for you right now, Like it's like this is,
Well, yeah. So really, what it is almost like it's like trying to do a podcast and then and do it live. It's like you're trying to sell it as something else though. You just gotta accept that it's dead right now and know that when it's back, it's gonna come back strong.
Exactly. How you been using your time, bro? Like, I mean, other than working, obviously, but like, have you like did anything comedy related, like, while this is going on?
So I did get into I did that Brett Hayden's doing that joke off bracket, and I mean with that it's just a written out joke, and it's vote 1 or 2, and whoever gets the most votes goes on, and I mean that's something. Mine's not for another like 6 days, but
no, that's solid. Plus he was doing that before the coronavirus and shit came around, so
right, so that's cool. Besides that, I started another show called Clipped doing MMA stuff because I used to have a podcast with my best friend called On the Button, and I started getting the itch after he moved to Grand Rapids. We stopped doing it, so I started doing this little show, and then all of a sudden everything shut down. So actually, the last day and a half, I've been taking clips where we would like predict something from back in the day, and then putting what actually happened at the end, and just playing with that.
Oh, dude, that's fucking sick, dude.
That's something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot you do MMA, bro. You be whooping niggas' ass?
Dude, I'm wearing a UFC hat right now.
Look at you, bro.
Yeah, we got some interviews and stuff. It was a big deal. We got like some top 10 ranked UFC rostered fighters to call into us and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you about to be Joe Rogan out here, bro.
Yeah, but like funny. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it was a good time. And it sucks because like when we pulled the plug on it, that was probably like almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, and that was before either of us, because we both started comedy since then. I think we would have been so much better doing it now, but it's just there's no time anymore.
All right, you gotta answer me this question though. So like, it seems like a lot of people make a transition from UFC or like MMA to comedy. Like, what is the connection in that, bro? Like,
yeah, that's true. So
I've seen so many people just on our scene alone. There's like 3 people, including yourself, and then like you know, and then like the overarching thing, like with like Joe Rogan
and the fighters are doing it too now. Like,
who?
Even some of the fighters are doing it. There's a former...
Yeah, so many fighters are doing comedy. And, like, what is it? It's like, why? You can whoop anybody's ass. What you need to be funny for? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, like, I actually got to open up for Ian McCall. He actually fought Demetrius Johnson for the belt. And I got to open for him when he came out to, what's that, One Night Stands.
You opened for him at One Night Stand?
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh, damn, okay.
He was awful. But, no, he was just starting out, man. It was like his 5th time or something. And it's crazy, though. You're seeing a lot of that, either retired fighters or, you know, most of them are starting a podcast, but a lot of them are starting stand-up like Ian is. And my only guess is that you get hit in the head enough times, you're like, I could do that.
Man, y'all got beating the comedy, huh? You and Brandon Shaw.
Right. Yeah. If that would prove my case, because no one has jumped into comedy from the UFC as hard as Brennan has, and no one's been knocked out as many times as Brennan. So there's a correlation, man.
Damn, dog. But I've always wondered that, man, because it's like when I see people that do UFC that do comedy, it's almost like when I see like really hot girls do comedy. It's just like, what you need to be funny for, you know?
Right, yeah. How you have 2 of the most amazing aspects, right?
Exactly. Like, that's like the pinnacle of what you can do as a dude, is that I can whoop anybody ass, unless they're trained like me. But you can, an average civilian, you beating the shit out of them, no matter what size they are.
But then also making them laugh the whole time, like...
Yeah.
you're mauling them like Khabib, and as you're hitting them in the stomach, you're like, there's no... just making jokes right into it. Like,
cause you know how mad I'd be if you beat my ass and you had everybody who was watching laughing as well, dog.
That would be evil, especially with your leg situation.
Yeah, that is pure evil, bro. Like,
yeah.
You done turned the crowd on me too, G, even though I don't know.
Yeah, I know. They should be feeling bad for the guy getting beat, but if they're laughing on top of it, like if you're doing a full set while beating the shit out of somebody, like, dude, that guy did 15 minutes of murder and...
Right. just 15 minutes of killer material while you pounding my head into.
That's killing in 2 ways is what that is.
Yeah.
That'd be a great show. I should try and I'll get Ian on it and Brendan. We'll call it Killing in 2 Ways, and we'll have them beat the shit out of a civilian while doing their set.
Right.
That's something.
Yeah. I ain't gonna sign up, but I'll watch.
Right, yeah.
Once I get my legs back, then I might hop in the ring, so, you know.
Yeah. You might be able to use them more. I don't know. There was a fighter that he had like some kind of problem with his legs, and once he finally caught him back, he ended up throwing up submissions that most people couldn't.
Yeah.
So that could be you while you're telling jokes.
Hey, G, you ever see them wrestlers that don't have legs?
Yeah. Midgets?
Ain't that... Not midgets. I mean, pretty much. But fucking,
But yeah, no.
They literally have like nubs for legs, or they have like nubs for arms, or they have nubs for arms and legs.
Yeah, I have.
It would be like fucking Big Ten wrestling champions. Ain't that should be an advantage, kind of, not having arms and legs?
Well, yeah, those are two very important like pivot points that are gone. I know the guy you're talking about. He's always wearing a red shirt, and it is NCAA. I can see him right now because he entered my nightmares after I saw him. He's like one of the crawler zombies from Nazi, right?
It's like a fucking starfish just fucking like crawling.
It's a fucking crawler. You gotta get it. Dude, you know, like, it's dark, but I feel like the amount of control you'd have to have if that guy was sprinting at you on his hands to not punt him in the face.
Dude, that just core strength is probably incredible. You probably stub your toe trying to kick him in the stomach.
That's true.
That's like all the fucking strength you got, for real.
Yeah, there was that MMA fighter too a few years ago. He was actually on one of Dana White's contender series where like if you get a good enough performance, he'll give you a contract. And he had one arm where it was a nubbin a little bit past the elbow, so he could use that nubbin as like as a fulcrum point and stuff. But he was doing pretty good. But once he fought the UFC fight, it didn't work.
Yeah, that's like a police club.
Yeah, I know. When you could throw bows and they're actually just your right hook, those are gonna be devastating.
Exactly, dude.
You gotta be inside the pocket though.
For real, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is strange times. This is fun though. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I haven't been talking to people enough.
Yeah, neither have I, dude. We only leave the house to walk the dog pretty much. I mean, we went grocery shopping yesterday, but like we don't. This shit has been kind of rough, man. Like just being cooped up in the house. Like I was telling Schneider, I just moved to Hamtramck, and I live right by Independent, and then like kind of down the street from Trixie's, and I was really excited to move out here because I'm all close to everything, and then as soon as that shit happened, like now we're fucking stuck in the house.
Yeah, it's like so close but so far now. That's rough.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's where you stay at?
Well, I've kind of been bouncing around because I've been staying with my grandma, but with working still, I'm trying to limit the exposure to that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so I've been back in.
The people you want to stay away from during this time.
Right, like I was honestly considering going to visit my dad out in Grand Rapids for the long weekend, but he had lung surgery last year, so it's not worth it.
Yeah, I feel that, bro.
But
man, I used to work for a company that used to sell ventilators, bro, and I quit. I pretty much quit, started doing comedy and shit. And I don't know if I get whoever working in my place is a damn millionaire right now.
Yeah.
But fuck it, I mean, it's not like I don't want to be like, oh shit, I could have capitalized off people's deaths and shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one of them dudes,
Yeah, actually, there's a significant part of my family that all works for a company that makes contracts for the families of the deceased about selling their metals and their titanium, their pieces that are inside of them after they die.
Really?
So they're all like, man, business is going to be kind of good after this, though.
That's fucked up, though.
Yeah, it is. It's fucked, but yeah.
Somebody's got to do it, man.
Yeah, no, it's dark, but I never even thought of it till I got told about it. I was like, yeah, someone does have to do that. And I mean, it's kind of good at the end of the day if you get past how morbid it is. That's a huge check to the families of these, deceased people that, helps out with funeral expenses and stuff.
Yeah. That shit is so dark, bro. Like,
Yeah.
It's a dark time, bro. I don't know what, like, I really don't know what's going to happen with all of this, man. Like, it's fucking weird to think about, you know, and our whole lives just turned upside down, just, you know, and we still don't even know the extent of, like, what this, I mean, we kind of do, but I don't know, man. It's fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, we went from, like, I'm sure it's not going to be that big a deal to it's kind of becoming a big deal to lockdown to every single person going like, well, imagine if it was this bad of a disease. It's like, all right, well, we're dealing with this one right now. And if you sit there and think about it for too long, you can drive yourself mad.
Exactly. Like, it's only so much you can do. Like, it's, you know, like, me and my girl, we go out like shopping or whatever. We'll put the mask on, put the gloves on. But that's about the extent of it, you know. Like I'm not about to be fucking Clorox wiping my phone every time I go out. You know, like. Yeah,
if it's that bad, then it's you kind of just let it embrace you. Like.
Yeah, for real.
If this is my time, it's my time, I guess.
For real, yeah. Like I'll do the fucking the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? But. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's weird and depressing, man. Like, it's gonna be interesting when comedy come back, though, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah, if it's gonna be like, because there's two ways I see it going, and there's the way I'd like more than the other, but I have a feeling it's either going to come back very slowly and a trickling, slow bring back up with everyone still a little paranoid. Or everyone has been cooped up for so long, you're like, fuck yeah, let's go see a comedy show. Fuck yeah, let's go all the time and like just get out.
That's how I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like people are just gonna like as soon as the first chance everybody gets to like really get out of the house. Like I think bars, I think shows they're gonna all be packed. People are just gonna be, and then they'll die out. It'll be like. I think it'll die out soon, but I think at the very beginning it'll be like some fucking crazy. What the hell is this?
So it's gonna be like I used to work at a park. It's gonna be like the first week of summer where everyone's like, yay, we can go work out, and then it's fucking dead until the end of fall, and then everyone's like, oh, we should go outside for a little bit before we can't, and then it's dead for the winter.
That's exactly how it's gonna be. Like I described it as like you know how people go to the gym as like in the first couple weeks of January. That's how it's gonna be, bro. Like it's just people are gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, fuck yeah, oh, open mic in New Way, hell yeah, let's go. And then but I mean, it'll be cool, like you know. Around then, and then they'll just be regularly scheduled programming as usual, probably.
Yeah, so we call that the resolution, or what, New Year's resolution curve, and it's just like, I'm all in, and then 3 days in, like, I'm out. All right.
The coronavirus resolution, bro.
They've been playing, I've been seeing so much about Cardi B's coronavirus.
You're like fucking, you're like, they're coined it now. I was like, Cardi B, you don't need nothing else, dude. Now you're just gonna say coronavirus weird, and now.
I know, that's how it happens, though. She did this weird rant that should have been ridiculed, and it was just weird, and then, but she said coronavirus, and now it's the biggest viral thing.
Yeah, dude,
on accident, she made more money than I'll ever make in generations.
For real, dude. Just one accident, just doing a regular video.
She was like,
another thing. Go ahead.
It's just like, that was like her rock bottom video, and her rock bottom is better than my best day.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, yeah, here I am fucking applying for unemployment and trying to get $200 from the fucking government, and she just said coronavirus a little bit weird, and she's making millions off of that.
That's incredible.
Fucking, man.
Okay, it takes me back to Catch Me Outside, girl.
Pretty much, yeah. She got a whole rap album and won a couple of awards. Got her nails done. She looks black now. Like, it's fucking crazy, bro.
Just that, like, realistic interview, like, so what do you attribute all your success to? And she's just like, well, I was a piece of shit, and then someone put it on TV.
Yeah.
Fucking Tiger King.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Tiger King. Like who the dog? When somebody, I forget who was telling me, like, you should watch Tiger King. And I was like, this looks so fucking stupid. And, like, it is the fucking biggest thing in the world damn near right now. Just a bunch of fucking rednecks. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't watch it either.
You didn't watch it?
No, did you?
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, you did? Was it worth it?
I mean, I watched it kind of early in the hype, so, like, I wasn't so... I think so, yeah. It was pretty good. It was pretty good, but now when people watch it, like they not, like, it's been so much hype around it, I don't know if it's going to have the same effect on you if you watch it now. I mean, I would encourage anybody to watch it just because it was sweet.
That's true. There's something to that where it's like, if I've heard people talking it up for months before I finally pull the trigger, it's like, well, my expectations are too high already.
Exactly. I would wait till that shit die down, and then, you know, all these fucking Carol Baskin memes go away and shit.
Right.
And I would wait for that because it was good, but, you know, then now it's just fucking hype. But I don't watch. You been getting into anything else, like, since like, you got any new Netflix shows you want to tell the people about or anything? What's up?
Yeah, I feel like, so my problem and the reason that most people hate me is that, like, so no, people will be like, all right, like, the more people that say, dude, you should watch this, the less likely I'm gonna fucking watch this. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I make fun of hipsters, but I kind of share that mentality with them.
Yeah,
but, like,
I feel that, dude. I think that's the comedian in you, dog. Like, because I know when people are real hype about some shit, it's like, it's almost like the innate feeling to just shit on it immediately. You know what I mean?
It feels
like,
so good.
Yeah. Like, I need to shit on this. I don't care. Like, people will be talking like, oh, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. I was like, I have to shit on this.
I know.
I don't care how true it is.
Dude, that's my favorite kind of comedy, too, because you have to think it outside of the box and from left field to make it work. Like, one of my favorite bits ever was Bill Burr going on to, like, I don't know if it was Conan or one of those shows, and he was like, I don't know what the big deal with Steve Jobs was. Like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, you probably eating a pear.
Yeah, like, and, like, the whole crowd just, like, oh, but then by the end, he's getting them to laugh about it, like, what, the new phone doesn't fit the old charger? That's your hero? Like, that kind of comedy has always been my favorite kind, so.
Yeah. How long you been doing this shit?
Man, I started almost a year ago. I started early May of last year. So.
Damn. You already hit an epidemic.
Right, yeah. Like, hey, you know that dream you finally decided to follow? Fuck you.
Yeah, dude. That shit sucks, man.
It's alright, we'll bounce back. It's gonna be interesting, like, what offends people now.
Yeah, it will be, dude. Like, you think people will be more touchy or less touchy because of it?
I feel like it's gonna shift what's touchy. The things that are touchy will be very touchy, but the spectrum of what's touchy will decrease, which will be nice.
So elaborate, like, what you mean?
Like I'm gonna land that joke where I talk about, like, did you just assume my gender? And one of those fucking monsters from Quiet Place comes and gets him. But, like, I'm gonna be able to do that kind of stuff, and like gender and like vaxxing your kids might be touchy now because it didn't age well.
Yeah.
Like, they're looking for a vaccine. Maybe vax your kids starting once they get this one.
So you think people like if you do like feminism jokes or like what else is touchy? Maybe like rape jokes. Like, I have an abortion joke. You think that it'll be like more acceptable now?
Yeah, I guess. I guess, like, people seem to sweat the small stuff in the way that, like, anything, they could get offended about it. Like, I had an abortion joke too, where like I'm sorry, like 2 of my friends were gonna have a baby, and like they should not have a baby, and I was like, I don't know, maybe like I'm trying to figure out if I should say something or not, because I think this is a bad idea. Like, I don't know, maybe abortion clinics have gift cards. Like, like it was just stuff like that, and I'm like, I feel like that'll land better after the pandemic than before, because they're like, well, that's dark, but not as dark as all the, everyone's heard too many. Everyone's heard too many COVID jokes already.
Right. Dude, I never thought about it like that, but I actually, probably could see that people kind of lighten up and see like, hey, we got more serious problems than these fucking open mic dudes fucking going up and talking about this shit. Yeah. This is nothing compared to what we just all had to go through. Like,
yeah, it's like it's the biggest scale so far of like when people were talking about like Trump and all the race stuff, and when it was like at that time everyone was talking like, remember when our biggest problem was just taking down some old stupid fucking statues? Like,
yeah.
So now our remember those stupid statues will be like, remember abortion? Like,
yeah. For real. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. People are gonna appreciate the abortion jokes and the Kobe jokes and the fucking,
Another good thing I'm seeing out of this is people have, most people have so much time to just sit at home and watch stuff that you're starting. I feel like, and this is just a back of the weird Ponke head inkling, but I feel like people are starting to see some of the issues that they were just not paying attention to because they didn't have time, like fucking. Yeah. Like how stupid the abortion stuff is with having no guy should really have a decision, and then it's like, well, which ones started as a guy and then which ones started and changed into a guy, and then like the race stuff, like the police brutality still happening, and like even with the COVID stuff, there's been stuff going on. It's like people are starting to sit down and actually watch it all.
Exactly, and then you can get like really filled into all this stuff and be like, oh wow, there is some shitty stuff going on in America, but I just I was at work all day, so I didn't see all this stuff.
Yeah, so then like ideally you start back up into your normal routine, but you've been opened up to some more situations, some more ideas. But then some people took it too far and are like balls deep in like the Pizzagate conspiracy theories and stuff. So you gotta get out of that, like, but.
Yeah, it's always the motherfuckers, but fuck their emotions. Excuse me.
I give that a 5 out of 10 on that burp.
Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. I've been practicing. I had a lot of time. First off,
going for the world record on YouTube later. And...
my fucking personal hygiene is impeccable. I be taking like 4 showers a day because I'm so bored.
Right. Yeah.
So my hygiene is incredible. I still need a haircut really bad,
Yeah, no, it's bad because I keep like, there is that selfish piece of crap part of me that like every time someone complains about their quarantine life, I'm like, dude, you know what I would pay for a quarantine right now? I keep working my ass off, but then I know this.
A lot of people that want to be in your position too, though.
Yeah. It's way more that way than the other way. Like, I know the second I'd be home, I'd be like, man, I miss making money and being able to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Because we were riding on, like people like me, because, I don't know if you're, like, super familiar, but, like what's going on, like, my legs and shit or whatever.
Right.
But, like, but my disease is autoimmune, so I'm one of the targets for the corona shit, too. So that's why, like, I haven't been, like, told to really go back to work because, like I'm kind of more at risk than most people are.
Right.
So, when they shut down my job, it was like, all right, well, I gotta, I pretty much gotta hope that, there's some programs out here for me, or like unemployment, or they talking about spending $1,200 or whatever. And I kind of just gotta hope that shit happens, and
that is a wild part of it. Is like a crazy amount of the population is pretty much sitting there going like, well, they got to do something, because if not,
exactly.
it's going to get wild out here. It's going to be the purge.
Exactly. I'm one of those people who just like, if they don't do something for me, I really don't have anything. Like, I mean, I got a family and I got a girl, that can kind of support me or whatever, but they, I can't really rely on that because they're not really getting it any more than I am. So yeah, it kind of sucks for the people out there, that are like me, and I've never been one to like, just kind of just rely on the, handouts and the government and shit. But it's like, I don't really got no choice at this point, So
right, exactly. So like, such a high percentage, like you can't work if you wanted to, and
exactly.
And like, you and I, we saved a little bit, so we're a little better off than those people that were spending paycheck to paycheck. But like even the people that did save, that's only gonna last so long. And I'm way less scared of the disease than I am of how people are gonna react as this continues.
Exactly. Once money start getting low, oh yeah, dude, it'll be ugly. It'll be riots. It'll be motherfuckers gonna be getting robbed. I keep a box cutter in my coat just in case. That's all like the fast niggas with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. No, like it's funny, but it's not. Like it's legit how it is right now.
Dude, see, at least you got hands. See, this is where I wish I did MMA like you. At least somebody run up on you. You can fucking kick the damn eyelashes off and fucking.
It's funny because I never did it. I just covered it. I'm like that fucking what's his face? Shit. I'm blanking on his name, but that like skinny scrawny dude that just like does the analysis. That's me. I've taken some classes. I've rolled with some guys, and I know some techniques. It's just like you'd probably still fuck me up, EJ. Like
yeah,
with your legs.
The fact that you know any type of technique,
it does help.
Yeah, I'm about to say you can whoop everybody on this block, everybody in this Hamtramck block that I live on. You probably.
I have walked around Trixie's. I do think I could take out 90% of that population with my hands.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the people are the toughest around here.
Dude, that is the most amateur ring. Most of them I could take out with my words. They go right down.
For real, yeah. Just do a set. Yeah,
do a set. Do that killing in 2 ways.
You kill them in 2 ways, baby.
Out here toting.
For real.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, it's real. Like, I've been applying for all this shit and fucking, trying to get unemployment, and I'm still trying to get disability and shit. Like it's just so, it's just kind of shitty, kind of waiting on people to like, waiting if this is gonna happen. And they said like, oh, they're supposed to be sending you $1,200, and we had a bill passed, but it's like I don't really believe that until the money's in my account. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, it's all words till something happens.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm sure it's happening, but like until it hits my account, everything's just kind of hearsay for now, and it kind of just sucks, having to rely on that,
Hell yeah, man. Hey, dude, thank you so much for coming on. This was a great time, man.
Hey, no problem, man. I had a lot of fun, dog. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, let's do something again. Check out Ride Aalong Podcast. That's Ride Along with 2 A's. I caught it on Spotify. What's up?
I said, where do I check this out at?
Oh, this is YouTube only right now because I don't know much.
All right, for sure.
But yeah, I know Ride Along's on Spotify and all the stuff.
Spotify,
really.
it's on everything. Wherever you get a podcast at, even YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all that shit, dog.
So during this long weekend I'm going to try and figure out how to take just the audio and get it out to all those things. But until I figure that out, I'm just YouTube right now.
For sure, man. Hey, man, do your thing, man. Like I said, man, thanks for having me, man. This was fun as fuck.
Oh, yeah. EJ Watson, everybody. Thanks, bro.
No problem, man. Take it easy.